Hello, and welcome to the Supportscast. This is a gameplay of an injection of thoughts, critique, and advice. My name is Bluegill, and thank you for joining me today. We are doing a Genji live commentary, playing with a Lone Star, Froggy G, playing against a Yuri, Thurple, and Lone Star. Play on AI Station 404. Had a bit of a similar composition other than the tank and the assassin, the nuker. So it's interesting to see. It's less of who's got the better character. It's more about the better item or even the better skill. Because as you'll see throughout the video, Yuri and I go for different builds, as I will show you. He goes for a more offensive build, going for maximum mind damage, whereas I'm going for my usual maxing out my bubble, making it better for supports, using it to heal, speed up, and block debuffs. So, there's the camera. Thank you to everyone who's left criticism and suggestions. It's good to hear a second opinion. I always think about, would it be better if I did this or that? Just hearing it from an outside perspective outside of my own head, it does help. I do read the comments and suggestions wherever it may be, in the YouTube comments or on the Reddit comments. It does help. So if there's something that you notice, do let me know. It does help. So the items I'm going for, I'm using Solar Tree, just in case, for longer matches, and just where I could go for the piggy bank in hindsight now, but getting my mines just to have mines, getting ready to build my, it's called Time Warp now. It used to be called Warp Time, but anyway. The other Yuri's going for maximum mine damage, so you have to watch out for that. I'm more focused on pushing the droids ahead. And with the two Lone Stars and two Yuris, great pushers. However, the advantage of each team is that we have an assassin, so he's able to pick off people if he can get to them. The Froggy G needs to be very careful of Thurple's traps, because he does have invincibility on Yuri's mines, but not for Thurple's traps. So if he does get caught, his wings are clipped, so to speak. In the last video, I went on a rant about playing against people. It was unknown to my knowledge that there was a bug with Steam matchmaking. It wasn't a game bug exactly. It was, what was happening was the leak system basically shut off by accident. Well, it wasn't anything. The devs didn't do anything with it. It was just Steam did an update and it threw a wrench into the code. So if you notice yourself playing with new players, or if you're a new player and you felt you were playing with the best players in the entire game, you were probably right, because there was essentially a free-for-all. It was people who were playing for half an hour going against people who were playing for over 1,000 hours. The game's in 2.4.2 right now. This match took place in 2.4.1. That's the only thing that changed between the builds, so I didn't feel the need to wait until 2.4.2, a good match to happen then, because that was the only thing that happened, and this match felt to me was pretty solid, other than what goes on here. I'm not going to pay attention to the text here. If you just want to read it, go ahead, but I'm just going to avoid reading it. So the Thurple on the red team is going for damage on the nukes. Gotta be very, very careful with that, because with everyone's distance, I'm nearby a lot of them, but there are a couple which has to be on their team that are far away from my distance. There's quite a bit of ping going on, as you can see. The droids aren't moving at a set speed, so that's how you can tell when there's lag about. There really isn't much you can do about it. I try to make sure to play only when no one else is using the internet. Just try to minimize the bandwidth. Usage on their computer, just make sure I'm the only one on the internet. Just try to prevent it. For a 2D game like this, location, it has to be exact. So when the game's for exact location, it can't always get it right, and it tends to throw it off, or it tends to stop you in its place to have the server get you back on track with it. The problem with that, though, something that may be 2 feet in front of you could be a direct hit, or something that was halfway across the map hasn't taken a step yet. There isn't a whole lot I can do about it. I'm not sure what I can do. I'm just trying to go with rule of thumb now, because of this match, to try to be at least twice as far away for nukes or energy balls, anything like that, lightning balls. Just try to avoid, because you could be, even if you're just a hair away, it can still hit you. So I'm working on keeping my droids alive, keeping my teammates alive. A lot of times I go into the jungle and try to pick off people there, but where there are 2 pushers on each team, one on the other team that's really, really good at pushing along with that, so their big advantage is just to keep the push on us. But the thing is, we got someone who's very good at taking out people, so he's able to make the job easier for us to do. And with Lone Stars, they're able to push people ahead, and they're able to take out the mines as well if there's one in the way. That's a big advantage of having Froggy G on our team. If there are mines and there's no one else about, he can use a splash attack and take out the mines. He doesn't take any damage from that, because when a Froggy G does the splash dash, he takes no damage. However, debuffs still do apply, so if he runs into a trap, he will get caught in it. I got myself a little bit carried away with trying to take down people, trying to fight away the turret. Yuri had the advantage over me. He had the increased range, so I miscalculated my time to get away. But that's how you live and learn. It's not about what... Instead of complaining, oh, that's a cheap move, it's more like me. I could have just moved back earlier to avoid dying. So, because I'm working on getting my droids up to that core and get them to fight, and getting them up to the core and try to take it down as quick as possible, I went for the flash forward because it increases their speed by 25%, movement and attack. So it helps them get up to the turret faster, and when they get to that turret, or if they're fighting the other droids, they can fight faster and increase their attack speed. And that applies for allies as well. So it applies on yourself as well. If you're chasing down someone, or if you need that extra little bit of firepower. So the thing about attack speed is when you're using your gun, you tend to slow down to aim your shots. This nullifies that because you're able to go faster and fire faster. So it's not really a problem with getting a shot. But then again, just trying to remember where the turret shoots you. This kind of applies to all of us. We weren't paying full attention, just trying to keep them back if we can't get a kill. Make sure to take out the homing droids as fast as possible, because they don't have the shield to defend themselves against the turret, but they pack a really mean punch. So if you're able to take one out, it's all the better. So trying to keep the push going, at least for myself, keeping my allies topped up, trying to keep everyone going. As you may have noticed, Froggy G has the right back at you upgrade. What this does is, any bullets that fires at him when he deploys his tornado, it bounces back as a counterattack, and it can fire back at themselves or the enemy's allies. So what happened there was, the enemy Lone Star was firing at Froggy G, which, while he was in his tornado, it bounced into the enemy Yuri and took him out. So when you see a Froggy G, and you see that tornado, and you see that he's got right back at you, don't fire. Cease fire. The big thing about that is, it also applies to turrets. So if you're trying to go for a direct hit on someone, and they hit that tornado, the shots from the turret can take you out. I never knew that before. I was I was trying to think of what the hell caused that, but it can be very mind-boggling at first. But now it's interesting play by Yuri here. He's going, because he's got maximum mind damage. To my surprise, I tried to avoid doing this, but it worked out really well for him because it's avoiding. It's preventing the droids from pushing out. But now that they got our turret down, there's all this space to worry about now, and they can go through the jungle up here. I'm trying to avoid the jungle. I've got to focus on the droids and make that push. The Lone Star, he's trying to wear us down. The more I'm trying to just look like easy bait, but where I have the health, movement speed, and I'm going for debuff immunity. I figured I'd go for that in case someone ran into a trap or someone ran into Lone Star's bowl. No knockback, no stun, nothing like that. I find myself in other matches that it didn't find to be all that useful. It's kind of a bonus if anything, because it goes for any. Yes, we're defending. It does help with those debuffs, but I find it's more of a bonus if anything. You could either go for debuff for extra support, versatility, or go for extra slow. Because I find myself a lot with, when I try to take down an enemy, it's just a little too, they got away just in time. So that's why I'm going with the extra range instead. I was going with slow attack speed and damage. I like using the slow a lot. It does help with slowing down an enemy push. And again, making sure not to get too close to the nuke, because I'm not sure what the server thinks, where the servers think it is. So don't put too much trust in the server when you see the droids skipping out. But keeping my Lone Star at the front because I need him to get the push going. I can do quite a bit by myself, but if I have that extra pushing power, it's all better. Cancels out the dynamite, takes care of the bull, and dirt bull is hardly a problem because whatever the nuke hits first, that's when it automatically fires. So it's not like the nuke can go through people and do it that way. It's a great way of clearing out anything in front of you, blocking them, clearing the way for the droids, anything like that. Using the slow, taking down the droids slowly. Where is everyone? Seeing people up in the jungle, I'm just focused on the lanes, but I'm learning to be. That's the problem with the debuff right there. Excuse me. Supper. I've learned to be more aggressive with my mines. I hardly build my mines till the end of the game, but I've learned to be more direct with my mines. Instead of just laying them out and just waiting for a droid to run into them, I'm learning to get up in their face and then lay down the mines. Because it's much better than seeing them maybe hit the mines. So if I'm able to just push them back a little bit, then deploy mines, it does make a big difference. But we're doing really good for pushing back the enemy. We're starting to get push on them. Made good use of it. I have nothing built on my mines, but I'm still able to do quite a bit of damage. And with my speed upgrade, able to keep my allies healed up, help everyone fight faster, and help the droids fight faster and get them alive. So, in no time, we're able to take down this turret, and down it goes. And because the other team, where are they? They just respawn, so that gives us a little bit of time to fight the turret, fight the core, I mean. So with debuff immunity, Lone Star's bowl is no problem because unless it explodes, it's no problem to me. Then again, you got the other Yuri to worry about because his maximum mind damage. He's going for lifesteal. I rarely ever have good luck with that because to make use of that lifesteal, I have to stop and attack. Whereas I might have to be on the move instead, because I can't just stay still because that makes me a moving target. If I was working on being a live trap using max slow and doing it that way, that would work pretty good. if I maxed out my slow and did it that way. But we're more focused on keep moving a push forward. It doesn't work all that well for me, but it depends on the build. It doesn't work for everyone. So 6 to 9 is working out quite well. I'm working on attack speed, getting that extra hit per second. I might do damage from now on. I find that getting that extra hit per second, it matters if you're staying there long enough to get that amount of hits. Instead of that one punch being a really, really hard punch. Instead of 10 tiny punches kind of thing. Doing 10 punches takes a few seconds to do, whereas that one punch is when it matters. So I'm kind of learning, because when you have to do your damage, you have to slow down or stop to make use of that attack. But Froggy G, he's chasing Lone Star around for whatever reason, but he sees him pick up the health, so he leaves him alone. Myself, trying to be careful of getting ambushed or swarmed. So I make my way back to the jungle. Enemy Yuri's doing pretty good for defense. Just spamming his mines all over. It was where his mines are so powerful as well. If anyone runs into it by accident, it might kill them. So with the core halfway down, doing quite well. The enemy teams doing not too bad, but as you can notice, the Lone Star has instead of looking at what he was doing wrong, it's more like, what's everybody else doing wrong? Or what's everyone else taking advantage of? Not what am I doing wrong, but playing on the internet. So let's see, just trying to push the enemy back, working on the droids. A little bit of pain going on, but just looking after my teammates, making sure they don't get swarmed or anything like that. But Froggy G knows what he's doing. I don't have to worry about him too much. And Lone Star getting his items ready. Then again, at the same time, with Yuri, one mine could be a one-hit kill. So with someone as frail as Froggy G, that's his biggest weakness right now, because Thurple's not too big of an issue. He's doing really good for laying hurt on people. 2 to 4 now, okay. So what he's going for, just trying for longevity. Lone Star on the red team. Let's see. Explosion. It's a good idea to have an exploding bolt, because the problem a lot of new Lone Stars have is they just push away the droids and that's it. What happens when you don't kill the droids is if you just keep pushing them back, you're snowballing a really, really big problem. First it's 2 drones, then it's 4, then 6, as you see. They start stacking up. And then before you know it, you got a dozen droids at your core, and they're down before you can even take one out. So having explosive on it is a good idea to have. I tried to get away from here, trying to get away from this Lone Star, but again, I thought I was out of Durple's nuke range, but then again, the server thought I was closer, so it decided to give me the damage. So the big thing I learned from this match was don't trust the game mechanic. Don't trust the server too much, because it might push you just a little bit, few pixels to the left or to the right. But in many cases, that's life or death. So I'm learning not to put too much trust on borders. I just try to get myself a little bit further away from explosive, if at all possible. But I feel that the other Yuri's doing a really good job. He's going for a more offensive attack. I think that if we were playing on a different map, I think his build would have given him a victory. But he's doing a very good job of keeping the push going. But with someone who's not, it's not a bad build, but it's difficult to keep the push going when you got 2 people who are pushers and you got 1 person who's an assassin. That's a big problem, because you're going for that. Then again, before you know it, there are people behind you, and they get the last hit. So that last little bit, let's see, Froggy G and I decided to just go through the jungle, as has seen in the video. I felt it was a pretty good match. A lot of arguing, but online gaming, don't have to listen to that. All in all, this was this was fun to cast, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot by doing this. I still have a lot to work on. Just have to keep my train of thought on track, because this is about the 5th take I've done this. But each time I do it, I get less and less nervous. I start to care less and less about how I do. So, if you got anything you can suggest or something that needs improving, feel free to let me know somehow. Would like to hear it. If you'd like to watch this replay for yourself, watch it from just one player's perspective, or look at it from a different way, by all means, I'll leave it in the description for you to download and watch it on your own terms. So, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching.